Hey man, what's up? What's happening? You already know who it is and what it is. It's your boy Nephew Q, and welcome back to another wild episode of Conversations with Q, where I break down the madness happening in entertainment, sports, culture, and real life. And you already know if it's trending, I'm talking about it, and if it's crazy, I got my thoughts about it. And for today's episode, I'm gonna leave you shaking your head yet again because I'm gonna be talking about an influencer who thought vandalizing public property on camera was a flex until she ended up getting 5 years in prison, talking about the world's dumbest criminals. And then also I'm going to be talking about this lawsuit filed against Netflix from two people from the Last Chance U documentary. One was Coach Jason Brown. The other was Isaiah Wright. If you never watched the Last Chance U documentary, it goes over players playing in JUCO and trying to get back to D1 colleges and hopefully NFL dreams. So I'll be talking about the lawsuit that they got going on for our sports section. And then my Derek Q segment today, I got a man who refuses to stop watching porn even though his woman hates it. And you already know I got things to say about that. So sit back, turn the volume up, and let's get into it. All right, now let's start with this influencer who filmed herself vandalizing public property and then had the audacity to cry in court once she got her prison sentence of 5 years. Like, what was she expecting to get out of this? I mean, you filmed yourself vandalizing, public property. What do you think was going to happen? But anyways, the story goes a little something like this. Colombian influencer Danity Barra Rojas, known as Epa Colombia, was sentenced to 5 years behind bars after filming herself vandalizing public property during a protest. Now, in November 2019, Colombia was rocketed by violent protests against the government of former President Ivan Duque. It was during that time that popular influencer Danity Rojas posted a video of herself vandalizing a public transportation station in Bogota, smashing windows, car readers, and access registers with a hammer and painting the walls with spray paint. The video quickly went viral, getting her tons of attention online, but it also became the topic of an investigation that culminated in an initial prison sentence of 3.5 years for property damage and disruption of public transportation. Now, Ms. Colombia later apologized for her actions, but that did not help her much, as the prosecutor's office appealed the sentence and secured a 5-year prison sentence and a fine equivalent to 493 monthly minimum wages in American dollars. Now, her defense attorney filed an appeal with the Supreme Court of Justice to have her sentence reduced, but on January 27th, the court upheld the previous sentence and ordered her arrest, which has since been carried out. In a video that has been doing the rounds online, the popular entrepreneur and influencer could be seen crying and complaining about the sentence against her. And she says in her post, "Girls, I am very sad," the influencer tells her followers. "I came to work at the hair salon all day. I was leaving already on my way home and the police grabbed me. I have an arrest warrant. They were going to grab me, but I told them to wait until my lawyer was there. How sad to leave my hair salon and have my entire work team see me getting taken to the prosecutor's bunker." She continued, "I always wanted to fix the Transmolino, the Colombian public transportation company, pay for it, and improve in these 5 years. The only thing I have done is get ahead, work, and create jobs." Now, she has over 5.2 million followers on Instagram alone. She is one of the most popular influencers in Colombia. One reports that as a part of her sentence, she is also banned from using social media. Now, sis, you was dumb enough to film yourself vandalizing property, and you didn't just keep it for your own safekeeping, like to keep in your phone and, send up to the cloud and all of that shit. You decided to post that shit. What the fuck did you think was going to come from that? Did you think the proper authorities was just going to sit back and be like, and plus you did it during the protest as well. So do you think the authorities was just going to sit back and be like, we'll let it slide. That's all right. It's just a little vandalism. No, you can't film yourself vandalizing property and then cry about it when they hand you that 5-year sentence. You wasn't crying when you was motherfucking breaking shit and vandalizing shit. So, don't cry now, And I know, I get it. Clout chasing is at an all-time high today, but I'm look, man, I'm an 80s baby. You know, I grew up in the 90s and all of that, but I'm just trying to figure out with these new kids, like, when did committing a crime on camera become the move? I thought the whole point and the whole objective was not to be seen, not to be heard. But these motherfuckers be filming themselves doing shit, incriminating themselves. I'm like, do you not know that's evidence that they gonna use against you in court when they see that shit? Like, why are you incriminating yourself? And then on top of that, like, it's just too much. I don't know. She deserves I ain't gonna say the dumb criminal of the year award, but she's in the runnings for it because, I mean, yeah, it's 5 years too harsh. I will say that is too harsh of a sentence, but at the same time, I mean, you know, if you can't do, as they say, if you can't do the time, then don't do the motherfucking crime, then you should have set your ass down and stop trying to break shit and video yourself, you know, turn shit up. But anyways, let's talk about these Last Chance U lawsuits for our sports segment. You know, Isaiah Wright, you may have remembered him from the Last Chance U documentary. He was a running back, you know, in one of the scenes, he had a gold front, he had a gold grill. He was one of their more main characters during the first couple of seasons of Last Chance U. And actually, if you get a chance, go check out the Last Chance U documentary. I mean, well, I don't even think it's a documentary for real. It's just a show, but it's a reality show. But it's very good. I think it's very great, to be honest with you. But we got some lawsuits being filed against Netflix for Last Chance U. And one of them is Isaiah Wright, who had a wild journey from Netflix fame to legal trouble and is now suing over wrongful arrest and defamation. And then you also got Coach Jason Brown from the Last Chance U documentary. I don't know if you may or may not remember when he got fired from his school because he made anti-Semitic remarks towards one of his players. And so he got fired. It was a big kind of like, you know, controversy type of thing going on when he got fired, even though I don't think it should have been a controversy. But he is also thinking about joining the lawsuit. And he was one of the most entertaining people of the show when his time was on the show for his 2 seasons as a coach. You know, there's 2 different cases, but they have the same core. Last Chance U, I mean, they think these people who are setting, you know, who filing these lawsuits are saying that Last Chance U set them up for failure. And Isaiah Wright's claim, TMZ broke the story where Wright and other notable former East Mississippi CC players filed during last week, claiming that they were pressured to participate in the show just to have their images ruined with clever editing. Now, Isaiah Wright, a standout running back on the first 2 seasons of the show, and his attorney, Andrew Green, pointed at several instances that didn't depict the real Isaiah, but one major scene damaged his career far beyond his football career. Talking about Isaiah Wright. Now, Mr. Green, the attorney for Isaiah Wright, said that Last Chance U used clips of Wright in court and talking to law enforcement in the Life After EMCC episode and edited them to make it out like he was involved in a murder when he was never convicted of the crime. Green said editors used the footage to create drama and fell short in telling the whole story. Now, I'm going to just name both of these lawsuits right quick, and I'm going to give my opinion on both of them. Now, the coach, one of the coaches from the Last Chance U, Jason Brown, he's thinking about joining the lawsuit. Also by TMZ, he said that Coach Brown has said that he's never sued anybody in his life before explaining that things could soon change. But at this point in his life, he sees someone getting taken advantage of like this. He won't join their lawsuit, but he will get involved on his own side. And that's something to stay tuned to because his legal team is looking into it. Now, if Brown, the former head coach at Independence Community College in Kansas, ultimately decides to sue, he won't be the first to take legal action. Like I mentioned in the other story, several players, including Roland Ollie, Isaiah Wright, and John Franklin III, from the first couple of seasons of the show. JB, the coach, he appeared on seasons 3 and 4, but for the players, you know, they were on the earlier seasons. The players who are filing were on the earlier seasons of Last Chance U. But Coach Brown filed a lawsuit against Netflix and several others involved with the hit show. The players say that they were pressured into signing a release to appear on the show and weren't even paid for the appearance. Coach Brown said some of the players contacted him before filing the lawsuit. A lot of people, even those guys that I did not coach, reach out to me to kind of be the guy to spearhead this lawsuit. Coach Brown declined at the time, though it's clear he may file for himself. We're not actors, we're coaches, players. We had no clue about this, and the ironic part of it is I know the numbers. There's a reason the show's still on Netflix, Brown told us. I do believe there's some advantage being taken of us for the simple fact the numbers that they've gotten. I know how many viewers, I know the viewership, I know the money that's involved if you just do the simple math. Now, that was Coach Brown giving his thoughts on if he's going to join the lawsuit or not. Now, this is my whole thing about this. This is from the Last Chance U from, as far as the players like Roland Ollie, Isaiah Wright, and John Franklin III. I remember all three of these players. Roland Ollie, he ended up actually playing on the practice squad, if I'm not mistaken, for the Las Vegas Raiders, where they were the Oakland Raiders at the time. He didn't make the team. He got cut. John Franklin III actually did have a little bit of time on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That's my squad, so I remember him being on there. And actually, he was on the Super Bowl team that beat Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl. John Franklin III was on that team. Now, as far as Isaiah Wright, if I'm not mistaken, he never really saw any college or NFL success, or he never saw any college success, and got drafted or got invited to any NFL training camps or NFL, many rookie mini camps or anything like that. So I don't think he sniffed anywhere in the NFL. But Roland Ollie, he got to be a practice player. John Franklin III actually was on the Super Bowl team of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But my whole thing is that, why now? For the players who are filing the lawsuit who were in the first couple of seasons of Last Chance U documentary, this is 2025. I think the Last Chance U documentary started coming out around before COVID. So I think maybe like 2018, 2019 is when the Last Chance U documentary first started coming out. And it's 2025. So and this is for Isaiah Wright, Roland Ollie, and John Franklin III. If you had a problem with how they were editing you, why didn't you guys say something after the seasons had aired? Why are you just now waiting to now to say, oh, well, they depicted me in the wrong light. They didn't make me look like this. Well, you knew that way back then. Unless they just now watching the episodes, which I highly doubt, because I'm pretty sure these kids, once they were on Last Chance U, once it aired, I'm pretty sure they went back and watched it on Netflix, just like everybody else, just so they can see their storylines and see what other storylines that they played. So it's not like these guys just now are watching the show. I highly doubt they just now watching it. So except for Coach Brown, I kind of give him a little leeway with this one, even though his Last Chance U series was on, 3-4 years ago, so he could have, easily filed a lawsuit at the same time. But he's not on. He's on the fence with filing, so I'll give him a pass. But as far as the players, y'all have had time to go back and look at this thing and say, hey, look, that's not me. That's not me for real. They edited that in a way that wasn't very, becoming of me. I didn't like the way that they depicted me in that show. Y'all had all of these years to say something. Now, all of a sudden, y'all want to file a lawsuit. So to me, it just looks like it's a money grab. To be honest, it looks like, the NFL dreams are not going to work out for these guys, a lot of these guys. So it's like, well, what's the next best thing? Let's sue Netflix and say that they made me look bad and they had me, they edited in a horrible light. No, bro, y'all just gonna have to take this L on the chin. Y'all got a little, status with the show, and I think there may be a little bit of pride and ego, because people probably like, hey, wasn't you on that show Last Chance U? Or hey, ain't you supposed to be in the NFL? And so you got a little bit of pride. So then it's like, no, man, they made me look crazy. That's why when nobody recruiting me, that's why I didn't make it to the NFL, because you the reason why you didn't make it to the NFL. But anyways, so to me, I just think it was a simple and plain as a money grab, to be quite honest with you. And as far as Isaiah's situation, yeah, it's tragic, but it makes you wonder, was the show really looking out for him, or did they just need another redemption story to sell? And if you watch the Last Chance U with Coach Brown, you already seen how reckless and wild he was. And this is also, a real conversation about reality TV sports and how these companies profit off of people's struggles. They get their footage, they get their headlines, but what happens to these athletes and coaches after the camera stop rolling? And I get that, and I understand that, but that goes back to what I was saying, that, what happened? Why didn't these guys say something immediately after the show aired? Why are they just now waiting years and years now to say the show made them look in a bad light? Like, why are you just now saying something? That's why I believe it is just a money grab. Dun, dun, dun. It's time for my favorite segment. It's the Derek Q segment. And y'all, it's time for the segment, man. And it's where, people send me real life situations and I give the unfiltered truth. In today's letter, it's about a woman, who writes in saying she knows her boyfriend has a porn habit and she hates it, but he refuses to stop. But before I read the story, I gotta ask, is she mad at the porn, or is she mad that he doesn't care about her feelings? Like, I really would like to know. But anyways, let's get into the story, right? So this young lady, she writes in and she says, I met this man online a year and a half ago. We have been together ever since. This is a serious problem with him watching porn. When we met, I knew he was doing it when I was not with him. He knows I'm not happy about it, and he tried for a while to keep it hidden from me. More recently, he would watch it and then want to come get cozy with me. When I tell him it's a complete turnoff for me, he gets upset and tells me I need to see a therapist to get over it. I told him he should get help if he expects to have a relationship with any woman. I think he's obsessed with pornography. Am I overreacting? I'm beginning to feel like it is more important for him to watch porn than to spend time with me. I do love him and very much want to be with him, but I can't seem to get over this. Help. All right, little mama, I'm gonna break this down to you real quick and easy like a fraction. I need some. Well, okay. First of all, I need some context in this, because you says he has a serious problem watching porn. So is he? And I wish you would have clarified about how much he watches porn. His porn addiction could not be really an addiction. It could just be him, watching porn two times a day. And 2 times a day, I mean, call me wild, but I don't think that's an addiction, watching porn twice a day. Then if he's watching porn that consumes the day, okay, yeah. But at the same time, she said that she knew he was doing it when she wasn't with him. What if he's not with you and he's watching porn? What's the problem? Most women would consider that a win, because they would, correct me if I'm wrong, women, please, ladies, please correct me if I'm wrong. Wouldn't you much rather feel comfortable and safe knowing that if you're not with your man that night, that your man is probably watching porn and rubbing one out? So he ain't out here. You would like to hope and think that he's not out here in these streets doing you wrong. He's just in the crib watching porn and rubbing one out. I think a lot of women would take a man watching porn and rubbing one out when he's not with her versus being out here in these streets trying to find somebody to rub one out on. But anyways, I digress. So she first of all, she gotta chalk that up. And also, she may have some insecurity issues, which is why it's bothering her really bad. A previous relationship might have made her feel like her sex wasn't that good, or her body wasn't as good looking, or sexually she just didn't do a lot of things that the other guy may have liked, and he probably thought she was a whack lay or something like that. So there may be some reasons why she feels like this that I wish she would have divulged a little bit as to why she has a problem with him watching porn. And she says that he tried to keep it hidden from her, and more recently he would watch it and then want to come get cozy with me. I would like to know, what does she mean by cozy? Does he watch that? Is he watching porn to like get himself excited, and then he comes to you and try to get some from you, and you don't like that? Or is it that he's been watching porn, he's rubbed one out, and now he's calm, he's good, so now he just wants to come cuddle with you? I wish you would have been a little bit more forthcoming about the cozy part. And I know you said it's a complete turnoff, but I need to know why it's a turnoff for you. Are you just not into porn? And are some of the things that I mentioned earlier, is that what affects you as to why you don't want your new man to be watching porn? Was it the way you was raised that you think porn is the devil? And like, you give a little bit more context as to why it turns it off. And he said he gets upset and tells me I need to see a therapist. I wouldn't say that. And to get over it, I wouldn't say that. You told him he should get help if he expects to have a relationship with any woman. Some women, like, I wouldn't have said that, because that's not entirely true, because some women don't even mind a guy watching porn. Hell, you got some women that'll watch porn with the guy to add a little bit more spice to the relationship. They'll watch porn together. You know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't necessarily say that you told him to get help if he expects to have a relationship with any woman and he watches porn. And you said he's obsessed with porn, but I would just like to know more of what is your idea of obsession? Is it all day long? Is it once or twice a day? That's the first thing. And in this letter, you didn't mention anywhere in here that you would be open and willing to do couples therapy to see if couples therapy can try to work this or fix this out or find out what the root is or come to any kind of solution. And you said that you've talked about it, but what did y'all talk about? Did you talk about how him watching porn makes you feel? Or did you just tell him that it's gross and it's nasty and you wish it would stop and it's a problem? Have you tried to find out why he watches porn so much? Maybe he has not a porn addiction, but maybe he has a sex addiction. And that's why I said maybe you should go to couples therapy if you are really wanting to be with him and, you really want to make things work long time and you love him so much. Go to couples therapy and see if he has a sex addiction more than just a porn addiction. That can be the cause of it? And also, have you tried to, share in the porn with him? Like I mentioned earlier, have you tried to, are you even a porn person? Do you even like porn? Because you didn't state that, you like porn or not. If you don't like porn at all, okay, then that's just not your thing. But if you're into porn, have you tried watching it with him? Have you tried sending him shit so he doesn't have to watch porn? Are you sending him nudes of you in the bathroom? Are you sending him nudes of you in the bedroom? Like, are you doing things to entice him to make sure that he's not watching porn so much? Now, at the same time, I'm not trying to put everything on the young lady, but at the same time, the man has to also look himself in the mirror and say, okay, do I actually have an addiction with porn? Or do I have a sex addiction? Or what is it that's keeping me continuing with porn? He has to figure that out for himself as well. Like, okay, what am I doing here with this porn? Like, I got a woman, so I shouldn't feel the need to watch porn as much, because ladies, I'm gonna let you in a little insight, right? And I'm pretty sure y'all already know this as well. But just because we have a woman, that doesn't mean we gonna stop watching porn. Just because we have a woman, don't mean we gonna stop rubbing one out. Even if we live with our woman, we're still gonna watch porn at times. Now, I'm not saying all men, I'm not saying men, I'm just saying general men. We're still gonna rub one out in the bathroom, in the shower, while the shower's running. And it's nothing against you, ladies. Like, let me take you into the mind of a man real quick. It's nothing against you, right? It is absolutely, your body could be banging, you could have the best sex, you could be giving the best head, you could be doing all the things you need to be doing as a woman as far as satisfying your man. It ain't got nothing to do with you if he still wants to watch porn and rub one out. Because what a man is doing that, what he is basically saying is, look, if I have sex with my wife, my fiance, my significant other, my partner, I know I'm gonna have to get them in the mood, and I'm gonna get in the mood. And just being honest, ladies, sometimes we don't feel like doing all that shit. Sometimes we just want to get this nut out, and it may take us 1 to 2 minutes to, rub one out, and then we good. Like, we ain't gotta worry about nothing else. We cool. I ain't gotta worry about getting you to your climax. I ain't gotta try to worry about getting you wet. I ain't gotta try to. And I know it's a selfish way of thinking, ladies. I know it is, but I'm just giving you the mind of a man, of how some men think when we have a woman in the house, or we live with a woman, or we have a woman, and we still decide to rub one out, even though the woman is in the house with us. It's nothing to do with you, lady. It's just that we just want to rub one out real quick. We just want to feel good real quick and just let it go. And we just don't feel like working y'all up all the time, all the way, and all of that stuff. So that's basically all that is. So to my advice to you guys would be, I would sit down and really go and consider couples therapy. Because, like I mentioned, as far as the man, he needs to find out, does he have a porn addiction, or does he have a sexual addiction? Like, what is it that keeps him coming back wanting to watch porn? For the woman, you need to be involved. Well, I feel like you should be involved in couples therapy to learn to be more accepting, and that him watching porn is not anything or an indictment on her, but it's just more so what he's got going on. And honestly, if you go to the couples therapy and you maybe can get to the root of the issue with him, maybe he might not watch porn so much. You know what I'm saying? Because maybe y'all found out what the real root of the issue is. And at the same time, maybe you can do some of the ideas that I suggested. Ladies, men love unexpected attachment. We love unexpected pictures and videos. It makes our motherfucker. So if you have a situation where, in this case, your man watches porn, lady, well, wouldn't you much rather watch you to get off than to watch porn? So why wouldn't you send your man them nudes or whatever? And I get it, there's a lot of trust that goes into all of that. I get it. But for the women who know that they man watches porn and they're okay with him, also send that man a rub with you. So what other way than when you talk to him and he says, baby, I just did something with it. Baby, I just did something with that video. Baby, I was watching that video. So now he's not watching porn so much. He's watching. But anyways, that's my advice. Get into couples therapy. Find out what the root. Find out if he has a sex addiction or a porn addiction. And also at the same time, ma'am, find out ways that you can ingratiate your ways into his sex life, so maybe he's not watching porn as much, and actually listen to what he's telling you. If he's saying that you aren't doing certain things that he would like sexually, or not even sexually, intimacy wise, make sure you go watch that episode I did on intimacy. Maybe she's not doing things intimacy wise that is arousing him, so he has to keep. They need to have a real uncomfortable conversation and figure out that situation first before they move on with any more life, any more love, and anything after that. But anyways, That was a wild episode. We talked about influencers getting put in jail for clout chasing. Talked about the Last Chance U lawsuits. Talked about a boyfriend, choosing to watch porn, and his girlfriend is hating it. It's a lot going on in the world right now. But I want to know from y'all. I want to hear from y'all. Should the influencer have gotten 5 years? You know what I'm saying? And is porn really a deal breaker in relationships? Hit me up in the comments, inbox me, DM me, tweet me. Let's talk about this. And before you go, make sure you subscribe, leave a review, and share this episode so I can keep being in that algorithm so more people can see my show pop up in their podcast whenever they're looking on Spotify and Apple Podcasts for new podcasts. You leave a review and you share this bad boy, and my show will come up in more algorithms. Y'all can help me get to my 500 subscribers. Help me go 500 for 500. 500 Apple Podcasts, Spotify subscribers, 500 YouTube subscribers. Help me get to 500, y'all. We're gonna celebrate. We're gonna I might give away some merch if we do that. And the more y'all support, the crazier stories I'll bring to y'all. And like I said, it's Black History Month. Support somebody who's black. This is a black podcast. Hit that subscribe button and support me what I'm doing right now. And until next time, keep your head up, stay smart. I'll catch you on the next Conversations with Q. And as always, treat somebody how you want somebody to treat your mom. I'm up at this thing, y'all. Peace.